Every time we get a new bit of Five Nights at Freddy's lore, we just have more questions. For each answer we get, it's like 5 new ones pop up. Welcome back, my fellow gamers. This is Top 10 Gaming and my name is Amanda McKnight. Today we are going to be taking a look at some of the biggest unanswered questions that we still have from FNAF. The ones that burn our minds and our souls and keep us awake at night, leaving us constantly wondering. That's right, we'll be counting down the top 10 FNAF unanswered questions. So get ready to put on your thinking caps and get out your magnifying glasses, because it's time to start pondering on some of the answers to these seemingly yet unsolved mysteries. If you also can't get enough FNAF, you need to check out one of my latest videos, Top 10 Scariest FNAF Lore Moments, where we dive into some of the most telling and bone-chilling revelations of the franchise. Alright, now let's get counting. Number 10. Just how possessed are these animatronics? As FNAF has become more than just a slasher story involving murderous animatronics, and we've gotten lost in the lore, we've learned about just why these vengeful animatronics are out for blood, and why they're really obsessed with, well, stuffing you inside another animatronic. It has less to do with believing you as the player are an endoskeleton, and more to do with revenge. It turns out many of the animatronics we've seen contain souls, and as such likely contain a specific magical ingredient or component known as remnant, which gives them life. Remnants sort of act like a soul or consciousness transfer, even if you want to transfer the life energy of an animatronic to another, after depowering or gutting one. The revelation of Remnant made us ponder just what William Afen's motive may have been for murdering those children. Was it more of a mad science experiment than perhaps a cold-blooded killing? But also the knowledge that souls are trapped within the animatronics, and some of their behavior as a result also has left us wondering just how much of that person's consciousness remains trapped, and how much of it becomes twisted into something new. Is Circus Baby Elizabeth, or is Elizabeth gone and her soul just gave life to something new? Or is it more of a melding of the animatronic, its desires, and that of the person's soul, who is being trapped and has also become somewhat twisted in the process? Number 9. What does the sister location and FNAF 4 connection mean? In sister location, once you unlock the private room and thus the more traditional bonus survival night, it's possible for you to discover a pretty insane Easter egg which also connects the story of FNAF 4 to the sister location of Circus Babys entertainment and rental directly. There are monitors in the room that are specifically turned off. However, if you enter the room and on the keypad in the room enter the numbers 1983, 1983, you will turn on the monitors or television screens. However, you'll notice they don't seem to be surveying the Circus Baby entertainment and rental place. Instead, they seem to be monitoring the home from FNAF 4. Well, what does this mean? That obviously whoever has been normally stationed in this room has been monitoring the child we played as in FNAF 4 and in that home. But maybe they've been watching for animatronic activity. Maybe they're keeping an eye on the child we played as part of an experiment. But the other question becomes, if FNAF 4 took place in 1983, just how long ago was someone monitoring this home? Are they still monitoring it, or are these some old recordings? And then we get into the question of the timeline, which is, well, it's its own video. Let's be real. Number 8. Are the nightmare animatronics real? So another question which kind of spins out of the previous, if the FNAF 4 location is being monitored, are the nightmare animatronics real? Or were they figments of our imagination when we played as the child from FNAF 4? Some have theorized that in FNAF 4 we play as the crying child who's experiencing nightmares while in a coma after being bitten, and that the nightmare animatronics represent death. However, if the house was really being monitored, is it possible that the child was actually experiencing what we saw when we played? Could the nightmare animatronics be real and the child was part of some kind of experiment that was testing them out? Would this still be the crying child in that case, or could this even be someone else that we're playing as in that game? Which would kind of be weird because the minigames are in it, but it could be possible. If the nightmare animatronics are real, why were they created? And will we see more of them later on? Were they designed for a more horror-themed location, a Halloween event, or perhaps do they have some more sinister purpose? Number 7. How much of this is real? we're not even just talking about Nightmare animatronics here, we are talking about all the games. In FNAF VR Help Wanted, the introduction of the game implies that Help Wanted itself is a game that exists within the world of FNAF lore. So we're playing a game that also exists within the narrative, a game within the FNAF game universe. But it's also alluded to that there have possibly been previous games that were built around the stories, the legends of Freddy's and the Fazbear Entertainment franchise, and that these stories embellished as to the true tragedies behind the business. So have we been playing games that are the true scenario, or are there meant to be games within the universe that embellished on those true scenarios? How much of the story has been told in meta, and how much of the narrative have we genuinely seen and lived through? Are we still in the Matrix? Number 6. Will the Stitch Wraith appear in the games? The Stitch Wraith is a character from the books. We've seen them appear in each one of the Fazbear Frights novels and received more insight into their story since their first appearance. They seem to be a mad science creation, kind of a Frankenstein monster, whose purpose is to collect various artifacts infected with rage. They pop up now and then to add to their collection of possessed and bizarre bits and bobs, belonging to various animatronics and Fazbear toys. What we have learned is that at least 2 souls possess the Stitch Wraith and drive it towards its purpose, Jake and Andrew. By gathering these artifacts and components, the souls work towards freeing both of themselves from the Stitch Wraith's body, but exactly how remains unknown. It's also unknown exactly how Jake and Andrew could potentially fit into the lore outside of this one story, or why Andrew just had so much rage and so many objects that he managed to infuse with his rage. We also don't know yet if the Stitch Wraith will or is ever meant to appear in the games to connect the being with the main FNAF lore narrative. Number 5. Where is Michael and Elizabeth Afton's mother? Bringing a whole new meaning to the phrase, do you know where your kids are? Michael and Elizabeth Afton's mother has yet to be seen or really talked about in FNAF lore. Oh sure, we all have theories. Many suspect that Ballora is some form of mother stand-in or symbol meant to represent William Afton's wife, or that Clara from The Immortal and the Restless is meant to be an allusion to her or her absence, but we haven't learned anything concrete really yet. Is she dead or just absent? Why did she leave William and her children? Or is it possible William left her? I mean, what does she even look like? Was she involved in the family business of Freddy's and animatronics, or has she been gone from the start? This is one of those unanswered questions that just leaves more questions when it comes to Mrs. Afton's potential involvement or lack thereof in the storyline. Number 4. What was Circus Babys' true purpose? Near the end of Pizzeria Simulator, Scrap Baby says something kinda interesting that makes us wonder what exactly she was made for, or what exactly she thinks she was made for at least. Scrap Baby is the worn down version of Circus Baby, and though her appearance is somewhat different, it's implied that Scrap Baby was of course once the Circus Baby that we met in Sister Location. This isn't like FNAF World, where it was implied that there might be more than one animatronic that was built in this model or style. At the end of the game, Scrap/Circus Baby says, "You played right into our hands. Did you really think this job just fell out of the sky for you? No, this was a gift. For us. You gathered them all together in one place, just like he asked you to. All of those little souls in one place. Now we can do what we were created to do and be complete. I will make you proud, Daddy. Watch, listen, and be full." What exactly was Circus Baby created for? What did her father, William Afen, want her to do? Is that who she's referring to when she says daddy? Is this Circus Baby or Elizabeth talking, or is it both? What does she mean when she says be full? This revelation really does lead to more questions than answers. Number 3. Who is the crying child? There have been a few theories that have tried to answer this question, but the confirmed and verified answer still remains unknown. The survival logbook has led us to believe that the crying child may in fact have been Michael Afton, who somehow survived the life-threatening bite. But it's also been theorized that the crying child could be another third Afton child, and that Michael perhaps was the foxy masked older brother who often teased and made fun of Crying Child throughout the minigames. The weird and convoluted timeline have left us with more questions as to answers about this mystery, and while many remain passionate about certain theories explaining the identity of the child, we haven't seen anything explicitly confirmed in-game just yet. Number 2, is William Afen really dead? It seemed at the end of Pizzeria Simulator that all animatronics had been gathered, trapped, and burned alive, and yet it's also been implied that some of these animatronics managed to survive the fire and live on. Even when we think there is some kind of finite ending awaiting us for this horrific story, it has a tendency to push forward and continue on. The existence of Glitchtrap even implies that if William Afen's body and spirit within Springtrap were eliminated, that his consciousness may have managed to live on digitally within the game Help Wanted. And it's likely that if this is true, William will attempt to escape the digital realm and move back into the real world once more. Number 1, why does William Afen kill? So, we know that William Afen is a killer at this point. He's murdered a handful of children, likely more, and it's been implied that him crafting the Freddy's franchise was all to lure children to their doom. But we have also learned that he is a father to Elizabeth and Michael. In fact, one of his animatronics even killed Elizabeth. This makes us wonder if he has children. Why would he want to kill his children? And why did he want to kill Elizabeth? Or was that just some kind of accident? Did he make these animatronics to kill, or was that some kind of malfunction? Is he really the one motivated to kill? Or is he possessed by an evil spirit or a demon which drives him to kill? Perhaps William Afen is as much a victim here as he is a murderer. Thank you so much for watching. What are some of the biggest unanswered questions you still have when it comes to FNAF? Do you take theories and potential evidence as fact, or do you prefer to wait until Scott Cawthon or the games or books themselves give you a concrete answer? What has been your favorite FNAF revelation or light bulb moment that you've experienced? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to smash that subscribe and ring that bell on your way down there so you never miss another FNAF list. This has been Top 10 Gaming, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight, reminding you to keep on gaming on. Pew pew!